Hello, my name is Eric. This video is to help you with the installation of SaproSoft solutions. The process of installation is the same across all our products: senior high school, junior high school, church, point of sale, same processes during the installation. Now, this is how it starts. You would have the software in a zipped folder like this. When you first download it, just unzip into a location that you wish to have the software installed to. So in this case, I'll download it to my desktop. This will contain all the necessary files that you need, including all the setup. The software runs on MySQL database, and so that will be included. So we'll include the SQL version that the software needs. So now I've done the extraction to the desktop. So I go in there, I open it, and then simply copy or cut this software folder to the required location where you want it to be. So in this case, I want to go and keep this in my document. So I'll just simply move it. So I'll cut it from here, go to document, and then have it pasted there. All right. So that is the location I want to run the application from. All right. Now we open the folder, and then these are the folders, the files that we have in the folder. One of them contains all the setup tools that you need, and we have named that folder setups. So let's go into setups and see what is there. Inside the setups folder, we have the client installer. This puts all the drivers that the software needs into the respective position that it needs them to be for the system to run efficiently. We also have MySQL Manager. This is a Windows interface to the MySQL database. MySQL application is um, primarily DOS-based application. So we have a visual interface to that one. We also have a backup tool. This is what is a third-party application that allows us to make regular backup of database into different locations. It can even back up to Google Drive or to Box or to an online FTP server. Now, this is a third-party application which we have included, so you can time the backup of your database every 1 hour, every 30 minutes, every 2 hours, or every 24 hours. It is up to you to configure. And then this is the MySQL version. I think it's version 5.3 that we are using. So this is what you will need to install if this machine is going to be a server. Then these are the drivers, ODBC driver. That the software runs. The software is a Visual Basic application running on the back end is a MySQL. So this ODBC setup here is a driver that allows VB to connect to database. Then we also have another um, Windows application for managing MySQL database, that is SQL York. Now, the difference between this and the My Manager is that this one is able to install, in other words, run a very huge script. If the school's database grows, we need this particular software to be able to execute the script, and we'll get into that side. Now I'll do another video for those who have the software already installed and they want to run the script from one machine to the other. But this, what I'm doing now, is for a fresh installation. So now let's begin the installation. So you first have to run the client installer to put all the drivers that we need there. Now, this one does not matter whether the machine is a server or a client. You still need a client installer to put the drivers there. So I'll just quickly go through that. It will run and put all the drivers that I need at the respective locations. So when it ends, when this installation ends, another one will start. I think it will do two additional installations. So it's just a matter of next, and then you proceed. So this one will quickly go to the through to the end, and we have it ended there. I'm still waiting for the installation to complete. Then we can carry on. Okay, so that's it. So when the first one ends, it brings automatically the ODBC 3.5 to be installed. This is a driver that connects VB to my SQL database. So I'll go through the normal installation. So we take the default selection. So typical, go next, install, and then it begins the installation of the ODBC. When that is done, we have another application that controls the graphics of the software. We call it CodeJock. So we just simply register it in the Windows registry, and that's all. So still waiting for this one to also start and end. Okay, so the ODBC has also completed. So we finished that one. And then the last one is here. So that is the ODBC code jock. So we simply register it so that it's registered. That's it. If all three succeeds, then we just close. So our installation is almost complete. If this machine had been a client machine, then that would have been all for the installation. But since this one is going to be a server running a database, then we need to go and install the MySQL setup. So this is a MySQL server that will host a database. So it is only run on machines that are going to act as servers. So in this case, I go in there. Also, we follow the default selections. Next, 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 next. So we just move next. We go typical. So in this case, because I already have it on it, that's why it's asking me for this one. So otherwise, I'll just move on. So I'll move on next, 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 and then to install. When the installation ends, it will bring the wizard to configure it. So because I've already installed it, let me trigger that one so that you can see how it works. So after the installation, fresh MySQL, this will show up. So you have something like this, MySQL instance configuration. So when the MySQL installs to the end, it will come up with this, asking you to create an instance of the MySQL. So that one you move next, you move next, move next. You keep all the default, just the default, next, next, to the point where it will demand a password. So next, next. So this is the port it's going to use, port 3306. Then you move next, next. Then at a point, it will bring you password. And this password, you've already put it into database folder here. So we have a MySQL password. So at that point, you just only come in here, open this notepad, copy this password as it is here, and paste it there. So you paste it here, there, you enable root access from remote machines. This is important because if the machine is going to be accessed by other client machines, then you need to allow this so that the others can have access to. Without this checked, it means client will be coming and then it will bounce them. It will not allow them to access the software on this server. So in this case, I'll allow it and I'll execute. When everything is okay, all these ones will execute to the end. And then that goes through to the end. So that means our MySQL database has been configured appropriately or installed well. Then that's it. So now your installation is complete. This is all you need to do for the software to work. So once you have done this, you move back one step, and if you prefer, you can make a shortcut of the software icon. There's a software icon, the one that looks like a house. So you just can right click it and then send a shortcut to desktop. So you can send shortcut to desktop, and that's it. Then you can even close the folder and then go and run the software from there. So when you go to run the software for the first time, you will find an error message coming because the software runs on a huge database, almost about 154 tables in the database. It's a very massive software. So when you run for the first time, you will get this message because the database has not been created yet. But the software itself creates its database when it is run for the first time. But we will need you to go through some steps to have it created. And so to do that, you simply go to run database script. Now this interface will pop up in case you are running this on on a server and the IP address changes, the software will prompt you that the IP address of the server has changed. So you have to put the new IP address here. Okay, so it pops up when it is a freshly a freshly database created, or it is freshly installed, or it is also an old system already running, but the IP address has changed. Under these two conditions, this message will pop up. Okay, so now I'll go to run database script. And because we don't want you to just run script anyhow, because it can happen that it's just the IP that has changed. If you run the script, you go and then clear your database to an initial installation which has got empty tables. Because of that, you have put a password on this side. So when you click, it will demand that password. We don't give it out until we are sure that we are doing a fresh installation. So if a new school comes and they want the software, we give that password to you for the first time to just do your installation. Once you are done, it disappears. So now I put in the password securely. So let me put my password there. Once it is correct, it proceeds to the next stage, asking you to put the database name. So if my school is maybe Kofi Asiedu International School, I'll just say Kofi Asiedu int maybe school. So SCH or Kofi Asiedu, yes, Kofi Asiedu underscore international school underscore DB. That's all. Then I proceed to next, and then it will begin to create it for you. So you don't select anything here, just keep everything as it is, and then run database script. So at this point, it is going to create that database called Kofi Asiedu international underscore DB, and it will put in all the tables that you require for you. When everything goes through to the end, then you can now open the software and then begin to work. And that's it. That's how to install a fresh database or a fresh application from our platform. So in this case, it is done. If I go and open it again, I won't get any message. I'll get a login page because now the database tables and everything is available for the system to pick. And so that's it. So the software is now installed. That's it. So it has been installed. So now I can log in with my default password, which is admin, and username is admin, password is one. I can now log in and then I can have access to software. And that's it. Very simple installation and very straightforward. So after the installation, you can now come and begin to set up, have your school details, create your classes, your programs, all these things to have been done in another video. And so that is how to install. Very simple and straightforward. All right. Thank you very much for